they're not going to do it for you. Do either one of these teams have a leg up? And if they do, what is it, Kyle?
I think this is a great question, and I do an exercise every Super Bowl, especially the ones that are hard to pick, where I just take the rosters, bam, bam, and I just compare them position to position, and I declare a winner. So right guard, left guard, safety, whatever it may be, and I see who has the better. And I did this before the Patriots-Eagles Super Bowl, the first one, when everyone was on the Patriots and Brady, and I'm like, you know, at almost every position, the Eagles are better. There's just some high-profile ones like quarterback to get distracted from. So I did it on this one. I took the Chiefs, and I took the Eagles, and I just said, who's got a better guy at every position? Now, some of them are tough. I thought Joe Thuney is slightly better than Landon Dickerson. I think Jason Kelce is slightly better than Creed Humphrey. But, guys, I came out with a 15-7 advantage for the Philadelphia Eagles. 15-7. Now, if you want to throw in Tommy Townsend, the Chiefs punter, and Harrison Butker, the Chiefs kicker, then it becomes 15-9. But the only positions I found on the entire Chiefs roster that are better than the Eagles, I got Joe Thuney, Trey Smith, 2 guards. I got Jerick McKinnon, the RB2. I got Mahomes. I have Kelce, Chris Jones, and Juan Thornhill. That's 7 positions out of 22 total in which I think the guy the Chiefs line up is better than the guy the Eagles line up. Subject for debate? Possibly. Is this airtight? Probably not. But this is my own evaluation. And the last time the Eagles were in the Super Bowl, people thought it was crazy to pick them. They had a better team. The Chiefs have a better quarterback than the Eagles, and that means a lot. They definitely have a better tight end, and that means a lot. I think the Chiefs have an inferior roster. I think the Eagles have better players top to bottom, and that's why I've said this now for 15 consecutive days. It feels like 15. 31-20 Eagles, 31-20 Eagles. I think they have better players on their team from top to bottom, Jay.
15-9 when you add in the specialists.
Yes.
And I'm going to piggyback off of what you said. I'm going to talk about the Eagles' defensive line because of all the positions you said. You didn't give the Chiefs that edge at all other than a Chris Jones. Yep. This Eagles pass rush is unbelievable. And you look at these guys here, and it's not just Hassan Reddick, who's gotten a ton of credit as the playoffs have rolled around, as he should. 19.5 sacks this year, including the playoffs. But they have 4 guys that are over 12 sacks this season, and that doesn't even include Fletcher Cox, who has 8 sacks this season, including the playoffs. They have done a tremendous job of just getting after the quarterback. I'm kind of envisioning like Tweety Bird as Patrick Mahomes just running around all over the field as Sylvester the Cat is just chasing him, trying to get him down. And look at these numbers. Like, the Eagles aren't just having a good season. It's on historic pace, 78 sacks. They go out here in the Super Bowl and they rack up some sacks. They're in company with the 84-85 Bears.
And the 85 Bears had a ton in that Super Bowl 20 against the Patriots. Richard Dent was the MVP. A defensive end was the Super Bowl MVP.
That's why I love you. Richard Dent was the MVP of the Super Bowl. Could Hassan Reddick be the MVP of this Super Bowl if they're able to get to Patrick Mahomes? So to your point, this Eagles roster, this defensive line is probably the best in the NFL. And this is why they're still standing.
Yeah, anybody that asked Justin Tuck, he still thinks he was the Super Bowl MVP.
He might have been.
And defensive players, you know, listen, a huge part in this game. We make so much about this game by the quarterbacks, but it's who can get to the quarterbacks, who can hit them, who can harass them, who can knock them around. I love the roster comparison.
That's
so
fun.
One little thing that I'll look at, and I can't wait to hear Schrager's beatdown of these rosters going.
I'll have one.
The corners. To me, that's the glaring thing that jumps out at me. All right, not just experience, but talent-wise. Look at the Eagles' corners. I feel like they've got an unbelievable advantage with the corner position. James Bradbury, who they picked up from the Giants, who just discarded him for peanuts. Pennies on the dollar, really. And then Darius Slay on the other side. You have 2 legitimate lockdown corners. James Bradbury has been one of the best corners this entire season in the entire league. All right, and I think when you look at what he has enabled this defense to do, now all of a sudden, look, you don't have to bring all these exotic blitzes. You've got a guy that can plaster coverage all game long, and it helps out with the pass rush, right? The back end works with the front end. These guys get into the quarterbacks. When I look on the other side, when I look at the Chiefs corners, they're one of the youngest secondaries in the league. They have 3 rookies: Trent McDuffie, Josh Williams, and Jalen Watson. These 3 guys, they're rookie and young defensive backs, over 2,000 snaps. More than any team in the league for rookies in their defensive back. So there's an experience level, and then there's a skill level. So I'm looking at these corners right now. I think obviously for Bradbury and for Slay, look, they're going to hit you with a double move, Bradbury. Like, it's on film. You put it out there. Like team after team, week after week, they've hit you with the double move. They beat you with the double move. That's what they're going to try to do with Mahomes. Of course, he's the all-time equalizer in getting outside of the pocket. So for corners, they've got a big challenge ahead of themselves.
All right, give me pound for pound, defensive line analysis, the maturity of the secondary. Give me trick plays.
Okay.
Give me trick plays. Who has the bigger advantage? I think the Chiefs have one extra thing up their sleeve, and the Eagles better watch out. Remember this one. The double pass. We had the snow globe that happened earlier this season. We have wasp, of course, infamous wasp play. We have a filled lateral that happened against the Jaguars a couple weeks ago. What else do the Chiefs have to show us that's not on tape? There's a snow globe that we all know and love. Insult or not, it worked. Unfortunately, there was a holding penalty that called the touchdown back, but hell, that thing worked. The thing is, these guys are just doing this for fun, fodder, and for playing pretend in the regular season. And now, we're in the Super Bowl, and we feel like, as media, as fans, whoever, we have covered every single inch of both of these teams. Who has an extra page in their playbook? And I honestly think it's the Chiefs. That thing, I don't know why they were putting that on tape against the Jaguars or against the Bengals a couple weeks ago. That was a 10-yard lateral that didn't need to exist. But now we know it's there. Something else must exist. And I think when it comes to trickery, things that the Chiefs might be able to pull one over on the Eagles, I think the Chiefs have one, and I think that's where their advantage lies.